silent house. There was a house on the edge of town that no one ever went near. People said it was cursed, that anyone who entered was never seen again. But that didn't stop Sarah. She was tired of the stories, the warnings, and the fear. She decided to go inside, just to prove it was all nonsense. It was a cold autumn evening when she approached the house. The trees around it twisted and gnarled, their branches clawing at the sky. The windows of the house were black, like hollow eyes staring out into the world. The door creaked open with a push, as if it had been waiting for her. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the smell of decay. The floorboards groaned under her weight, and there was an eerie silence, too quiet, as if the house itself was holding its breath. She turned on her flashlight and began exploring, her footsteps echoing in the vast, empty halls. The deeper she went, the more unsettling the house became. The walls seemed to close in, and the faint sound of whispers drifted through the air, just out of reach. At first, she thought it was the wind, but the voices were too distinct, too clear. They murmured her name. Sarah. Sarah ... She froze. No one knew she was here. She hadn't told a soul. The whispers grew louder, swirling around her like a storm. She tried to leave, but the door she entered through was gone. The hallway she had come from stretched on forever, impossibly long. Panic gripped her chest as the whispers became frantic, voices urging her forward. Find it, Sarah. Find it. With no other choice, she followed the voices, stumbling through rooms that seemed to shift and change as she passed through them. She finally reached the basement door, its old wooden frame cracked and covered in thick layers of dust. Something drew her down into the darkness. The air was colder in the basement, the flashlight barely illuminating the edges of the room. In the center, a mirror stood, framed in tarnished silver. It was oddly pristine, reflecting nothing but the blackness around it. As Sarah stepped closer, she saw movement in the reflection, but it wasn't her. A figure, pale and gaunt, stood behind her, its hollow eyes locked onto hers, and its mouth twisted into a grin. Before she could react, the figure reached out from the mirror, grabbing her by the wrist. A cold, deathly chill shot through her body as the world around her went dark. The last thing she heard was the voice, now distorted and monstrous, whispering in her ear, "Welcome home, Sarah." If you want more scary stories,